Intensity. High positive G's create that crazy bone-crushing feeling that pushes you straight down into your seat. These moments usually happen in valleys in the middle of big hills, crazy fast bank turns, or banked helixes. Even some types of inversions might also bring the insane G's as well. Just to let you know, this ranks the most intense coasters overall, and not just coasters with one very strong intense moment. This is why you won't see rides like Shockwave on this list. You know what, this intro's dragging on. I'm just gonna start the video now. This is taking way too long. First off, I'll start with an honorable mention. This is Tower of Terror at Gold Reef City in South Africa. Built by Giovanola, I've disqualified this coaster for two different reasons. First, it isn't in North America. Actually, quite the contrary, it's on the other side of the world. But second, the coaster isn't specifically focused on intensity. Although it does have the most intense moment on any coaster, pulling an insane 6.3 Gs at the pull out of the first drop, and being the only coaster to crack 6 Gs, the rest of the ride is rather graceful and doesn't pull any crazy positive forces. Okay, now with the real top 10, starting with the Schwarzkopf flywheel launch coasters. The first of these were built in 1977 as Montezuma's Revenge at Knott's Berry Farm. Currently, there are only 3 of these in operation over the world, and will most likely replace with something new and modern soon enough. These coasters have the iconically intense circular loops that give bone-crushing positive Gs at the bottoms of them. These loops come in at full speed after those launches, and have the most intense moments right at the pullouts. Even though this ride can pull up to almost 5.2 Gs, it isn't sustained for long at all, and is only experienced for a brief moment. Number 9. Incredible Hulk at Universal's Islands of Adventure. One of B&M's older creations, this coaster really brings the intensity with its rapid maneuvers and big inversions. This ride doesn't look very intense on paper, having massive inversions that look to be tracked gracefully, but it's quite the contrary. This coaster uses a wheel launch to propel it, making it feel naturally more rapid fire because of that launch segment. The coaster also just never seems to lose its steam until the mid-course brake run, where it practically just flies through the first half, making everything so much more intense. Number 8. Batman the Ride clones at various parks. There are 10 of these clone coasters around North America going by different names, but they all have the same layout. The general consensus of the most intense Batman clone seems to be Six Flags Over George's Batman, but I've personally experienced it, so I'm not really sure. These coasters are known to be rapid fire, compact, and intense coasters. The ride doesn't pull any positive G-force above 4, but keeps a sustained intensity all through the course and never loses its great pacing and speed. Number 7. Riddler's Revenge at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This ride looks like an ordinary B&M looper at first glance, having a tall stature at 156 feet, 6 inversions, and a long drawn-out layout. Then you take the fact that it's a stand-up coaster and you have one hell of an intense ride. This ride pulls up to a max of 4.2 Gs, which is still quite intense, but you feel the intensity concentrating on your feet and legs, making the ride feel so much more intense than it is. The G-force is so concentrated that it actually ends up being more uncomfortable than enjoyable, which is one of the reasons why enthusiasts love to avoid these at parks, aside from their questionably awkward and painful restraints. Number 6. Afterburn at Carowinds. Okay, controversial opinion, this is more intense than Montu. Oh god, I could see the Floridians. Ah! Anyways, this is B&M's most intense coaster to me, and for good reason. To start, this ride isn't like Patriot at Worlds of Fun or Banshee at Kings Island, where it has massive inversions that give decent hang time. Afterburn stays relatively low to the ground, and even goes underground with its Batwing. Speaking of the Batwing, this element is a heavy gray-out moment and hits near top speed. It carries the intensity even to the last moment, and is an extremely underrated ride, especially compared to the other inverts. Number 5. Vekoma boomerangs at nearly every single park. These coasters are known for two primary qualities. They're notorious for being generally rough and uncomfortable, and for being really forceful for how compact they are. These coasters were meant to be easily cloned and fit in extremely small plots of land. This causes it to have really tight valleys at the bottom of the spikes, and to have really damn tight inversions, especially the Cobra Roll. These pull over 5 Gs at the valleys and can even cause some grayouts mixed with the excessive head torture. Number 4. Mr. Freeze Reverse Blast at Six Flags Over Texas and Six Flags St. Louis. This unique launch coaster packs a lifetime of action into an extremely short layout. This coaster doesn't have many elements, but all of the elements have some sort of high intensity factor to them. The inverted top hat is extremely tight and it is so weird to go through backwards. The overbank is probably the least intense portion of the ride, but it does still pull some decent forces. Then, the most intense portion of the ride comes up. The pull in and pull out of the spike pulls an insane near blackout positive G-forces and never fails to provide the crazy intensity. Number 3, Maverick at Cedar Point. This small, rapid-fire blitz coaster is one of Intamin's finest creations. This coaster is extremely well-rounded, but definitely focused mostly on intense snaps and rapid transitions. This ride even had to remove its Heartline roll as it was stated to be too intense for an average person. The ride has so many of the snaps, too many to count. It has a very tight pull-out from its first drop, and the most insane moment to me, the hella sharp turn after that second launch. It also looks to have some ladder Gs, as well as great positives. This is one of America's highest placed coasters, and for good reason. Number 2, Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion. You guys may be surprised on why this isn't placed at number 1, since this ride is notorious for causing blackouts on practically every ride. This ride is full of Maverick-styled snaps and fastback turns, but has 2 key differences. One is that it has no launch, and rather uses a cable lift system, and the other is that it is around triple the height of Maverick. This ride is famous for the first turn after the drop that even had to be reprofiled after guest complaints of it being way too intense for going 90 miles an hour. This ride stays near ground level the entire course and keeps its stellar pacing the whole ride. Number 1, Quimera at La Feria in Mexico. This is the only defunct ride on this list, and for an unfortunate reason. In 2019, this ride had a tragic accident, killing 2 people and injuring many others due to the back car derailing and completely flipping over. I truly feel sorry for those lives lost, and hopefully they received their condolences. Let me quickly address why this was once the most intense coaster in North America by far. This coaster was already naturally somewhat intense, as it is a traveling and compact Schwarzkopf looper, making it naturally feel very forceful. The reason why this ride sets itself apart is because how the fair ran it. La Feria ran the ride without trip breaks throughout the entire ride, making it rapidly gain intensity until the finale. This caused the final loop, which is already naturally intense due to the circular shape, to probably be the most intense inversion of all time. This also caused all of the low to the ground bank turns and switchbacks to be ran at a far faster speed than intended, eventually leading to its downfall and claiming the name as the most intense coaster in North America. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Comment below on your opinion on these intense coasters and if you agree or disagree with my picks. And if you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like on the video since it took a really damn long time to make. And if you want to be notified when I make my next videos, feel free to subscribe too, cause that'd be epic. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully you have an awesome day. See you.